Hey, Hernan.
Hey there, Dennis. How's it going?
Going well. Hey, Matthew.
Hey there,
Hey
Matt.
guys. Good morning, Hernan. Good morning, Dennis. Wasn't clear what we were using for our names on here, so my last name's not Devrel, but it is what I do.
That makes sense.
Well, welcome everyone to the second workshop for ZetaChain Google AI hackathon. Super excited to have everyone on board. Last time we covered some of the basics about ZetaChain, how to use the CLI, how to create a simple Hello World application. And this time we're gonna dive deeper into building front-end applications, because that's how your users are gonna be interacting with your dApps. So it's super important to get this right and get the connection basically established between your front-end application and the contract you're building. So without further ado, Hernan, the stage is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see it.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, today we're going to be focusing on how to integrate ZetaChain, especially universal contracts, into your web applications. And I think the best and easiest way to get started is going to be with our CLI. So basically, it's as easy as typing npx ZetaChain new. This is an interactive command, so it's going to give us a few options. We're going to be using the hello example. Let me create that one for us, and let's see into it. Let me open this one up in the IDE. And basically, this is our current folder structure. So there are a few things that are interesting here. There are a few scripts and hard hat tasks, but today we're going to be focusing on the front-end piece, which lives into this folder. So basically, what we are going to do is basically let's cd into the actual front-end folder, and let's install all the dependencies. While that's installing, let me show you real quick what this package.json looks like. So today we're going to be leveraging this package called ZetaChain Toolkit. For those who don't know it, feel free to take a quick look into it. Let me look at this into my browser. Toolkit. No, it's Toolkit. npm toolkit. So this is the package, and it is also an open source package, so you very well could also see the actual code into GitHub. So let's take a quick look into it. This is a public package, so basically any one of you guys can come in here, open issues, even if you want to contribute, open pull requests to keep growing together. So basically, this is what we are importing here and what we are installing with Yarn. So which is what we are going to be leveraging today. So now that all of the dependencies were installed, let me jump directly into the demo. This is going to create a local front-end server for us. We are leveraging Vite, and we are using React and TypeScript. So let me show you what this looks like from the very beginning. So I think it'd be interesting before jumping in to actually understand what we're going to do and basically understand what are the moving pieces that we are addressing here. So I think a very good place to get ourselves started would be the docs. And I think it'll be particularly interesting to visit the Universal Apps page, which is going to basically give us a quick overview of what they are and basically what we call universal apps to smart contracts that live on ZetaChain and that can natively talk with other blockchains, the blockchains that we support, for example, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, among others. This is a very basic use of what a universal app would be. I mean, a call to a universal app. So basically, let's say you are on Ethereum, you are the user here, you can call the deposit and call method on the gateway that lives on Ethereum. And by the way, the gateway are smart contracts that were already deployed by us, so you don't need to worry about that. You simply call the deposit and call method to the gateway address, just using the gateway address that's already live. And this gateway method would call the on-call method on the universal contract that already lives on ZetaChain. A more complicated scenario. I mean, what's good about this architecture is that it allows for very complex scenarios where basically you can manage communications between different chains. So the way this would work is you can make for example, a deposit and call directly on Ethereum, which would use the Ethereum gateway, which would land into our universal app. Basically, deposit and call would use the on-call function of the universal app contract that lives on ZetaChain. And basically, let's say that on this on-call function that lives on the universal contract, you perform a swap. And then you can call the withdraw and call function on the ZetaChain gateway, which would basically be received by the BNB gateway, and that's where you would get, your funds. This is a very complex scenario, but I mean, I guess it really showcases how flexible this architecture is, and how much flexibility you have when you create your apps. So now that we understand what we're doing here, it's also going to be very interesting to see what this actual demo is going to be doing, which is something incredibly easy. I don't think this is the one though. We want, hello, this is it. So basically the app we are running here, the front end is just, a client-side representation of this tutorial, but basically we are going to be doing the same things that we are explaining in this tutorial, but on a browser. But the essence is the same. So the user is going to be connected on a connected chain. Then they are going to be calling a call method on the Ethereum or whatever connected chain they are using, gateway, which is in place going to be calling the on-call function on the universal app contract that lives on ZetaChain. This particular example is going to be very easy and straightforward. In fact, we can even see the actual code of the contract here, which is basically a very simple contract. And the on-call method simply emits a hello event. So we would see an event that says, on argument 0, it would be hello. And on argument 1, we will simply see the message that the user sent. So now that we also understand that, let's jump directly into the example, which is going to be pretty straightforward. It's as easy as connecting your wallet. Now that we are in, we can switch between all of these different networks. Right now, the example only supports EVM chains on testnet. So these are all of the available options that we support at the minute. Let's try with Arbitrum Sepolia. I usually like interacting with Arbitrum Sepolia because it is the fastest. So let's say hello from Arbitrum Sepolia. Okay, as we can see here, we are calling the call method. We are interacting with this smart contract. This is the universal. No, I think this is the gateway address that lives on Arbitrum Sepolia. So let's confirm this transaction. As you can see, the confirmations on Arbitrum Sepolia are incredibly fast. Let's take a look at this one. And here we can clearly see that we actually called the call method on the gateway contract that lives on Arbitrum Sepolia, which is pretty good. And the cross-chain transaction was also incredibly fast. So this is how easy it is to interact with our chain. So let's take a look. And as you can see, I think the most interesting thing will be here in the logs, because bottom line is we are emitting an actual event. And here is the hello event, as we had previously seen. Here in the contract, hello event, argument on index 0 is hello, and argument on index 1 is going to be the actual message we just sent, which is pretty much what you can see here on the event. So that's pretty much mission accomplished. On the practical side, it's pretty easy to interact with this, but I think it would also be even more interesting to actually see how simple it was to make an example like this. So let me jump into the actual code. And I think even easier would be to just search for the actual function. As you guys remember, and I said a few minutes ago, basically we installed the toolkit library and we are using the EVM call method, which is being called here in a second. I mean, pretty much all of the methods that we expose in our toolkit will be composed like this. So you will have params and then options. So usually params are like the things that must be there, while options are usually things that need to be in place in order for the actual calls to work. So here we have, these options are, some of them are optional, some of them are not. I think signer has to be there, but bottom line is, the actual arguments that are needed for the call to happen in the contract will be here on EVM call params. So this is how we structure the calls, and this is pretty much how we call them. So it really is that easy. Here's how we are instantiating, the provider, then the signer. It's really that simple. So I guess now that we are here, we could also try something different. So basically, we are exposing a few more methods from the toolkit library. So let me try, for example, to do EVM deposit and call. As we looked into the docs, let me open them up once again. We are going to be doing this now. So basically, we are going to be depositing tokens and also calling a function on the universal contract that lives on ZetaChain. All of that will take place on the gateway contract of the connected chain. And yet the on-call function will basically address this for us. So I don't think this is going to work with this contract though, because I don't think the deposit and call function was implemented though. So yeah, that's not going to work, Dennis, right?
If you're going to be using deposit and call instead of call, no, it's going to work. It's going to deposit ZRC20 tokens in that contract, and since this contract doesn't really have any way of retrieving the tokens back, it's not very practical. But for the purposes of a demo, I think it should work. And you can even find this contract on the Explorer to see if ZRC20 tokens indeed have been deposited. So
I see.
You can try it.
Well, let's try it out. Why not? So basically, let's use the EVM deposit and call function here. And as you can see, we need a few more params. So I think it's going to be amount. Let's say we are sending 0.1. And let's see what tokens we have available. That's also something we can query easily using our CLI. So I think we can do tokens. Yeah, and let's list them. I think I have a lot of USDC on Sepolia, so I think we should be using this ERC20 address. So I think this is ERC20. We're going to be using this. Let me take a quick look, though, because I'm not completely sure that's the actual argument. So let's take a quick look here. EVM deposit and call, I think. Yeah, this is the file we're looking for. And here we have the params, which are on schema EVM. Here we go. So it is token actually. It is an ERC20. So let's try that out with token. And this should hopefully work. This should be on Ethereum Sepolia, sending USDC dot Sepolia from Sepolia. This is not liking it. Could not equal results. Signature decimals. So yeah, maybe that's not the name of the actual argument. Let's try ERC20.
Are you using a ZRC20 address for the?
Yeah. I just grabbed it from here, from the tokens
when
list.
when you're depositing, you should be using the ERC20 address, not the ZRC20.
You're absolutely right.
I've made this mistake a few times, so I was just like, I know where this is coming from.
That makes sense. Okay, so let's go to the Ethereum Sepolia Explorer, and let's, or is this something we have in our docs?
Yeah, we do have this in the docs. Let me share a link.
Yeah, this does not look right. Super fishy.
Yeah, just go to the docs.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's in Universal EVM and then ZRC20. There is a table there. And if you scroll to the right, yeah, it's kind of hidden.
Oh, I see. Okay. So we are on Sepolia testnet USDC. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But the actual name of the field is token, right?
Yep.
That looks correct. So let's give it another go. That looks more like it.
We also have a command for this. We have so many commands that some of them kind of starting to get pretty cryptic, but I'm showing it on the screen right now. So it's query tokens show, and then you can specify a symbol and a field, which is asset, and it's going to return the ERC20 address.
That's good. That's good. I actually didn't remember that one. I remembered, token list. So yeah, good one for the next one. And as you can see here, we are now interacting with the actual, write token. We approved it on the previous signature request, and now we are calling the deposit and call method. So let's confirm this. I'm using Sepolia, by the way, because I have a lot of tokens in that particular chain. So I think I have a bunch of USDC here. Yeah. Okay, that was also pretty fast. There you go. As you can see, we are now calling deposit and call, and not just call like in the previous example. So yeah, this allows, for a lot of flexibility. And it's very easy to use. I mean, it was just importing a different method from the toolkit library, and super easy to use. And we are now going to see the tokens deposited on the contract, on the universal contract in ZetaChain. So that's also really good. I mean, your actual call function could do something with those tokens, as we saw on the graphic on the docs, which would basically perform a swap or any other actions that actually require tokens.
While we're waiting, I just wanted to explain why the field is actually called token. We have. Oh, okay. I'm good.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I can click it later.
Basically, we have different chains, and on some chains, these tokens are ERC20s. On Solana, it's SPL20, right? So we just wanted to standardize the naming and make it a bit more consistent.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, just naming it ERC20 wouldn't be sufficient, having support for other non-EVM chains. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. So let's take a look at the actual call to the universal contract on ZetaChain. As you can see, this is now a deposit and call. We have all of the argument data here, and let's take a look at logs. And this is interesting. I mean, we also see the transfer here. On the previous example, we just saw the hello event, but now we can see transfer and deposit events. So yeah, USDC on Sepolia only has 6 decimals. So this is why this value looks so low, but it is actually 0.1 USDC. And I think the actual universal contract should also have those actual funds in there. And yeah, there you go. So this is it. These are the ones I just deposited. So yeah, that was pretty easy, pretty straightforward, if you ask me. And we are also planning on adding support for this example to other chains like Solana, Sui, Ton, etc. And we are also going to be exposing those methods from the toolkit. So I mean, integrations are much easier for you guys who are, the ones that are building apps on us. So I think that's pretty much the end of the demo, unless we have any questions.
No, obviously you're very quick with this, quicker than me, quicker than most. But the only thing, it's beyond reproach. You really are. You are very quick with these demos. I think what would be helpful, the only thing that I can think of as far as feedback, is that it was a little sneaky having all the testnet information way over there on the slider on the tutorial page. I never would have found it. I was like,
that's good, right? I mean,
it's finding a hidden level in a video game. It's like you got to know where to look.
But I mean, it's right in front of you, right?
It's always right in front of you. That's hiding things in plain sight, right? They can't find it. So that's the only thing I can think of. I think if the more we can make the information very obvious, like right in front of your eyes as they are, the quicker we'll get up to your speed and being able to execute these transactions. Deposit and call is a cool new piece to the demo that could have been a totally separate demo, right? And then it would have taken you 30 seconds instead of 1 minute, right, to do the whole demo.
Yeah.
and that's great for short form content. I'll break that down for Instagram. I'll break that down for Twitter and make it, just the 30-second demo. You're so quick with it. Very, very cool. And I think the new front end UI is really sharp. It looks like
it's really good, and it has a few really cool things. So it has light and dark mode, and it also looks really, really well on mobile as well.
Yeah,
so
actually,
all screens look really good on mobile. So that's really good.
I agree. Those mobile graphics look really great, and I think there's a push for ZetaChain. ZetaChain is growing really quickly, and it looks like now there's 2 weeks ago there was no UI. Now there's UI and CLI, and the tools are coming fast, and so it's always a good time to jump in and start building with what's the latest tools available and start making some versions, because pretty soon there's going to be more examples and more examples and more examples, more to choose from. So I'm excited to use this UI. Honestly, I think that's the most exciting thing for me this week.
No, it was pretty easy to set up, right? So basically, you simply run, as I showed
did,
in the beginning, and NPX ZetaChain new. I mean, how easy is that, right?
Yep. Follow these tips, you guys. These workflow tips from Hernan and Dennis are the key. These are the quickest way to get started with ZetaChain.
And by the way, I mean, you can always ask questions on Discord. In fact, I mean, we are also hiding this one on plain sight here, but basically on our Discord server, we have this channel called Dapp General, I think it is. Dapp General, there you go. So if you ever have any technical questions, we would be delighted to help you here.
Okay, very good. Dev General in the Discord channel. And then the docs are right there. Where else can they find us? I mean, obviously on live stream and stuff like that, but you're saying that Discord is the best place for
to ask questions directly, for sure. But then if you want to stay up to date with everything that's, you know, the latest and greatest on ZetaChain, you can also follow us on X or Twitter. That would also be a really good idea.
Well, I think with what's going on with the Google Cloud AI hackathon right now, that there's you know, these are great places to start building with the Google hackathon. Like, you know, you can start integrating this with your Gemini CLI pretty quickly. You can generate, you know, if you can add the NPM package pretty quickly to your project and use your AI to start, you know, building front ends and doing deposits and calls and cross-chain messaging. I can see a lot of, you know, a lot of time being saved as far as developing new projects, especially when there's, you know, deadlines not so far in the future. So I can see people, if I can put it together in my head, I think everybody else will too, that there's Google hackathons on Dora Hack, there's a new CLI, there's a new UI for the front end. The functions work across many chains. You know, it's becoming pretty obvious that, you know, cross-chain universal apps, as we call them, are really starting to be the standard. It's a new standard for development for EVM and for cross-chain universal interoperability. So these are you guys are the smartest guys I know on EVM. So I think.
No, and I think there's something that's also worth mentioning is that, I mean, exposing functions on an NPM package and making them extremely easy to use like this abstracts a lot of the difficulty of making cross-chain calls. And basically, you have something that's incredibly easy to use. And it also hides a lot of complexity behind it, right?
You've abstracted a lot of the complicated parts. So what is still hard about this? Well, simple things like, can you know, is all of the information literally right there in black and white, so it's very easy to find? That's it. You know what I mean? Other than that, it has made the process a lot quicker, a lot simpler to get started and to, you know, make a working demo. So if both of those things are true, then we should have tons of submissions from the community for the Google AI Hackathon, right?
Looking forward to those.
Yeah, me too. And speaking of, we have some other bounties live right now, right? There's some other bounties that are happening right now. So make sure you guys stay up to date with what ZetaChain's working on and what we're building, and contribute to those projects in the community.
Cool. So do we have any questions from the audience?
Let's see. I don't see any. Do you guys see any questions or comments?
Let me take a look. Sandler just said, help, please. But I mean, unless you told us what you need help with, it's going to be pretty hard.
Reach us in the Discord and we can be specific with whatever help.
Absolutely. But no, yeah, I mean, we would be delighted to help you if you have any technical questions directly on Dapp General Discord.
Very good. Well, thanks you guys. This was a really, you know, great reminder for me, great walkthrough. I'm going to use these things to apply them directly towards the hackathons and the workshops that we're working on, so people can like see this is how you get started. And I'm like, hey guys, look at this. Like, look how quickly Hernan does it. So one day we'll get to do a workshop together in person, and I look forward to that day. Until then, we have StreamYard office hours, and I'll find you on the Discord.
Sure, absolutely. It was delightful to have this one for you guys. I hope you guys liked it.
Great job.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Sure.
Great day. See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.